Just wanted to say thank you to all the fans of Survivor 48. More importantly, the fans of me, because that's who are the most important. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for showing love. And thank you for always being so kind and honest, because that's what the B word, do.
Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to talk about Survivor Season 48, Episode 8, titled A Rift Between All of Us. Last week on Survivor, the game was split in half when players faced two separate tribal councils, where the star of the first 7 episodes, Sai, had to say goodbye, and you know he hates to see a cargo net coming, Cedric became the first member of the jury. Before I dive in, I put a link in the description to catch up on the season's recaps. If you like the content, consider liking, subscribing, and commenting what you think of the episode. You can use my link in the description to try Paramount Plus for free and binge tons of Survivor, including this season. But let's dive into it. Players from the first tribal get back to camp. Chrissy tries to smooth things out after she announced at tribal she was targeting the strong players. She tells them she was lying and it was all smack talk, but she tells us she really does want to take a shot at the big players. Mitch weighs in. He's relieved to make it to the jury, but wants to start playing aggressively now. The rest of the players return and Mary is back on the show. She's happy to still be there. Shaheen fills Joe in on his side's tribal. Shaheen trusts Kyle and Camilla, and now he knows that Mary and David are really close. Shaheen doesn't trust Mary. Mary doesn't fit into his alliance plans. The next morning, after Joe tells the group he could beat an elderly gorilla in a fight, Shaheen complains they didn't get the option to paint their flag, and they get a clue that they have to split into pairs for their challenge. Joe is analyzing who everyone picks, and during this picking, Chrissy is continuing to make suggestions people don't receive well. Eva rounds up her strong people with Integrity Alliance to remind them of everything that Chrissy said at Tribal at the previous round. Mitch is starting his own plan to make a counter resistance against the stronger players, approaching Kyle, Camilla, and David, but David is the most not down for this and is not trying to leave his Integrity Avengers behind. They head to their challenge where teams are Camilla and Shaheen, Eva and Joe, Chrissy and Kyle, Star and Mitch, and Mary and David. The challenge will be ran in 3 stages. Teams will be eliminated along the way, culminating in a 4-person individual immunity challenge. The final 4 also get a reward back at camp of tacos and cupcakes. When I say the players were creaming over the description of the tacos, I'm being subtle. The players who are eliminated in the first round will be punished by going on a journey where their vote will be at risk. So they get started. In stage 1, they'll dig through a sand tunnel for a puzzle piece and dig up more pieces in the sand. The slowest 2 teams will be eliminated. Mary starts off using her patented backstroke technique, also works in the sand. Mitch gets through first, giving he and Star a lead, but Joe and Diva, David and Mary, and Kyle and Chrissy finish first, in that order. So Shaheen, Camilla, Star, and Mitch are eliminated and will have to go on the journey. In the second round, they'll use their puzzle pieces to assemble stairs, then use planks to cross a rope bridge. The slowest team here will be eliminated. They get started. This is so boring that they speed through it. David and Mary pull ahead on the stairs and finish the round first. Kyle and Chrissy take a hard fall, allowing Joe and Eva to take second and move on. The final 4 move on to an endurance challenge, hanging on a pole as long as they can. Joe falls fairly quickly and David soon after. David falls to the ground like Captain America doing a ground pound. It comes down to Eva and Mary. Mary announces she's pretending the pole is her boyfriend. Get a room. Mary is squirming, but Eva stays still, and eventually Mary falls, giving Eva her first individual immunity win. I haven't talked about this necklace. Now that's what I call a medallion. Chrissy and Kyle head back to camp and have time alone. Chrissy is going hard on the plan to separate Joe and Eva, but Eva has the idol she can pass to Joe and immunity, so they see Shaheen as a backup target. Camilla, Shaheen, Mitch, and Star head on their journey. They'll be competing against each other in a strategy game where they need to pull 1 or 2 balls from the end of a chute and put it in their tube. The first player with 3 red balls loses their vote. This is an interesting twist. I like when they at least get to play in a game. That's not all luck when their vote is at stake. Camilla takes a gray ball that leaves Star with her 3rd red ball, meaning Star loses her vote, and Mitch's group may have the votes they need to make a move. Back at camp, the top 4 from the challenge get their tacos. Eva is going in on the food, which helps her find a clue in the chips that she stuffs in her pants and decides to keep to herself. David sees these 3 as his crew, so he brings up that Shaheen has paired up with Camilla in the challenge and may have turned on them. David suggests that they take out Camilla to cut that problem and still keep Shaheen around because he's in their strong alliance. Mary is going hard on this plan, which seems to bother Joe, but Joe tells us he doesn't have loyalty to Camilla, so he's not that bothered by it. Everybody heads back to camp, and Eva reads her clue in private, learning she has to sneak away at night to get her advantage. Joe fills Kyle in that David and Mary are targeting Camilla. Kyle is incensed. Kyle also tells Joe that Chrissy wants Joe out, so they're both pissed now. Kyle talks to David, who tells Kyle that Mary is in the Strong People Alliance now, and Camilla's the target. Kyle can't even fake commit to this, which makes David sus of Kyle. Rightfully so, because Kyle tells Camilla what's going on, that she's the target and they need to get the votes off her and onto Chrissy or someone else. Camilla calls David stupid for only caring about the Strong People Alliance. So Kyle gets to work on getting the votes onto Chrissy, starting with Joe, but that turns into a Strong Six Alliance meeting minus Shaheen, and they hold a vote where Joe and Kyle are outnumbered. The target stays on Camilla for now, but Kyle keeps fighting for Camilla, which tips David off that Kyle and Camilla are working together. Joe then tells Kyle they can flip the votes on Chrissy anyway, but it'll cause a rift between all of us. And oop, Joe said the thing. They head to Tribal, where conversation is about how complicated everything was at camp. Star makes everyone laugh with a rant that ends with a golf clap from the group. Chrissy again talks about the strong players that are kicking everyone's ass in the game, saying they need to take a shot. David and Chrissy have a little back and forth about this, which ends with Camilla telling the group that some of them are doing a terrible job at jury management, feeling very pointed at David. Has Joe always had this fresh, clean, blue gingham shirt? I was staring at the shirt the whole Tribal. Jeff reads the votes. There are 9 votes in that thing for Chrissy, and 1 vote for Shaheen from Chrissy that he's very pressed about. So we lose Chrissy here. When the cast was revealed, fans were really excited about her, and I still see a lot of that sentiment online. She starts off on the Siva tribe, which helped her glide to the merge. Pre-merge, she was shown to be on the ins with the group that was anti-charity, but overall she got such a quiet edit that made it a bit obvious that she would fall somewhere around this point in the boot order. In the previous round, she starts her argument to turn on the strong players, which was the right line of thinking once she saw she wasn't in on their plans, but there had to be a more tactful way to go about this, other than announcing at Tribal you're going after players and then covering up acting like it's a joke. The defense, I thought it would be funny, never holds up in the court of law, in the principal's office, or on Survivor. Overall, I don't think she lived up to her potential as a character, but as a player, I don't think she was terrible. She could have made it further, but not been respected had she not swung big here. Why didn't she play her shot in the dark? It was a unanimous vote, and it doesn't seem like she was blindsided by it. She should have tried it. That would have been epic. Even still, this episode was great. A bit of drama, a really fun immunity challenge, a reward with a hidden clue. Love that kind of stuff. And players fighting hard to fulfill their agenda, with David and Kyle going head to head strategically, and Kyle ultimately winning the day for now, protecting Camilla, but setting them up for a bit of backlash. Coming into the next episode, the strong players are still going to want to target Camilla, and I'm interested to see if my winner pick Kyle can get that heat off of them and onto someone else. I think they can, but let me know in the comments. What did you think of this episode, Chrissy's departure, and what do you think will happen next week? Thank you to Sai for being a guest on the channel. I hope you all enjoy these little guest appearances from players. As a thank you for coming on the channel, I asked Sai her favorite charity, and she chose A Better Chance. They place high-performing students of color into leadership through access to the nation's top independent and public schools. An awesome cause that I'm supporting with the donation, and will include a link so you could donate as well. And that's all I have to say about this episode. If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll be back next week with more Survivor. Until then, you know where to find me. Bye.